So right now I have the car running. I'm sorry guys. I have the car running. We're using the HS402 Wi-Fi here. Battery. I got my just a lead running straight to the battery for right now. We're using Hscope here. As you can see, using Hscope here. I'm using my tablet and Hscope and a screen recorder. So if this doesn't work very well, guys, I do apologize. But we're going to jump over to the screen now, and I'll show you what's going on there. So I'm using the data logger on Hscope. It's just the easiest way to do this. It's just very simple that way. So what I had to do to figure out my issue there with that battery draw is I took my battery cable off here, maybe on the wrench. Where did I put the wrench? Right on preparedness. As you can see, my voltage is still dropping, so I unhook my test leads really quick. I take the battery terminal off the negative side here, just because it's the easiest. Don't ask me otherwise why. And I put my battery wires back on here. And now we'll go back to the screen here. Alright, so now it's not only stopped dropping, my voltage actually rose back up some from where it had stopped before I unhooked the wires. So, in order to further diagnose this, we are going to switch over to the, we're going to go back to Hscope, back to the battery here, and we're going to hook up the ground wire with an amp clamp on it. So let's jump back to that. Alright, so now we're back here at the car. We're going to hook this up here. Now, as you can see, I have my battery wire hooked straight to it. So I'm already past the point of not disturbing the circuit. So what we're going to do is we're going to unhook the Hscope again, completely off the circuit. Like this, or the HS402. We're going to hook the negative wire back. Sorry about the alarm there. Okay, so now we've got this hooked back up. We're going to hook this negative wire to the battery wire, like so. Okay, I'm going to raise this up some, and then while that's still hooked up, best we can. Okay, so let's try it again. So we got the battery cable hooked up, we got the negative on there with the clamp. As you can see, I don't know if you can see that or not, but let me try zooming in a little bit for you guys. So I got a clamp hooked up here and a clamp hooked up here. It's just a jumper wire I made with a banana jack on one side. So then what we're going to do is we're going to turn on our amp clamp here. We're going to set it to the 20 amp setting. We're going to zero it, which you always want to hold your clamp the way you're going to have it sitting without the wire in it, then zero it according to Picoscope. And then we're going to put this around this wire right here. Okay, now we're going to go back to Hscope. Okay, so I forgot, guys, I hooked my regular leads back up also on the battery too. So now we have the scope hooked back up and our amp clamp with the jumper wire hooked back up, and our amp clamp is around the jumper wire right here. See if I can get that in the picture a little bit better for you guys. I'm sorry, I'm zooming back out here. There we go. So now you can see kind of the whole setup there. So what we're going to do now is make sure we got good connection, because we obviously don't here for some reason. There we go. Okay, so now that we got good connection on that, we're going to... Alright, so now in order to continue this diagnosis, we're going to have to go to a regular voltmeter. Now I'm going to try to position this so you guys can see what's going on here. Hopefully that will stay and not fall on the ground. So we're going to open up our battery box, or our fuse box here, and just cover off it really quick without disturbing our circuit there. This over here. Okay, So now, as I'm sure you can see, we have voltmeter set to voltage. We're just going to do voltage drop across fuses. Okay, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and we get to this one right here. Okay, so now we have 0.07. Okay, so we have 7 millivolts, we'll say, okay? So, with that being said, after we find that issue right there, we will then go to the chart that is on PowerPro's website, which is available for download. I'll put a link of it in the description here for the one I use. But it's a voltage drop over a mini fuse that you can measure amp draw. So anyway, after we look that up, you will find that 7 millivolts equals 1.5 amps of draw or per se. So with that being said, then to confirm our findings, if you so inclined, we can actually pull said fuse, and that will lower our voltage drop. So, let me pull this fuse here quick. Zero, zero, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and we get to this one right here. Okay, so now we have 0.07. Okay, so we have 7 millivolts, we'll say, okay? So, with that being said, after we find that issue right there, we will then go to the chart that is on PowerPro's website, which is available for download. I'll put a link of it in the description here for the one I use. But it's a voltage drop over a mini fuse that you can measure amp draw. So anyway, after we look that up, you will find that 7 millivolts equals 1.5 amps of draw or per se. So with that being said, then to confirm our findings, if you so inclined, we can actually pull said fuse, and that will lower our voltage drop. So, let me pull this fuse here quick. Okay, so now we pulled our fuse, and if we go back to Hscope, we will see that we lost our current draw, because we're supposed to be like 30 milliamps or under, so that's like 13 milliamps of current draw, which is awesome. So I'll take that. So if we then go to our fuse box lid here, let's see if I can find it. Fuse box lid. We look. That fuse goes to the radio right up here. 15 amp radio, which I'm going to pop you guys out of the stand, so pardon my shaking here. Take you guys out of the tripod here so I can show you that our fuse goes right there in that slot right there. So then, upon further inspection, that I just realized as after I was diagnosing this, that there are cut wires there, and there are also cut wires hanging here, so that cannot be good. And then we realized that it also used to be a taxi with holes in the roof and everything else. So I apologize for the poor video quality or poor sound quality. I didn't really have much equipment with me here out in the field today. So I hope this is okay, guys. So I'm going to pass this information on to the dealership. This is my random wires that are running down there, the blue ones I said about down there. And if you hear the radio popping right now, the speakers are popping right now, and the radio is turned off. Problem is, if you smell the radio, obviously you guys can't smell it through the smellophone, but you can smell the burnt electronics. And come to find out, when the gentleman was driving it back from the auction, smoke started pouring out of the dash, so he pulled over really quick, but the damage had been done. So let's see what we find when we get a little deeper. Inspection, when I grabbed the back of the radio to unplug said radio, it was hot, like burned my fingers hot. So I unplugged it quickly. And then if you follow me out here, it's out under the hood. Pardon the stability here, guys, but I'm going to try to do this with one hand here, which is going to be fun. See if I can't get that on there. And get this one on here. Come on. Come on. I'm sorry, guys. 1 second now. Get her. There you go. 0-0 across that fuse now. No draw. So, whatever had happened to those wires that they had spliced into, they used these little splice connectors right here. Terrible idea for something. I don't know what. Obviously, something to do with a CB radio, because they realized it has a CB clip on there. I don't know if I said that before, but they spliced into there. And then they had these big long blue wires just hanging down under the dash, shorting out on anything metal down there. So when the gentleman was cleaning the van to get it ready for selling, he apparently bumped the wires under the dash, not knowing, and shorted out the radio. So I'm surprised the car didn't catch on fire, because that thing wouldn't power off, and it was smoking hot. I mean, not burn my hand, but hot to the touch on my hand. And then along with the smoke pouring out of the dash. So like I said, I'm going to tell him what the news is here, and whether he gets a new radio, aftermarket radio, I have no idea. But, yeah, that's pretty much the end of the video, guys. So thanks for following along. I hope maybe it helped. Please leave any comments, concerns, share, and like. Now that the weather's getting a little warmer around PA around here, we're going to get back into making some more videos for you guys. I have a case study on a couple vehicles to show. So, but, alright, guys, thank you.